I got you, people. So this is what happens where a family doesn't have structure and both parents are not there, right? Usually one parent is there. And you know that New York City is one of the best countries for some in the world, and for some it's not. Because a lot of women here, right, are single. It's one parent, and whether you have a boy or a girl, things don't come out right because one of the parent is missing in the household. And it's hard for a woman to take care of the needs of a boy, right? Or if he's coming a teenager, a man is hard because woman doesn't understand the ways a boy should be raised up and should be treated. Just like the girls, sometimes the mother knows how to treat the girls, or she's coming a teenager, a woman. She's only gonna have limited resources and limited knowledge because you need both parents to get your family, the boy or the girl, to comprehend what is a family and how the structure work in the household or any family, right? Women do the woman's job and men do the man's job, right? Those are things that should be placed in the foundation of any family. If you was raised with your grandparents, and that's the way our grandparents was raised, right? Women do the woman thing and man do the man thing, and that's it. And there's no interference between that. Only the man gets in when they need something solved and something structured, that somebody's gonna make a solid decision, right? Just not opinion or you think it's right. No, somebody's gonna have to take charge and be responsible for making a decision from the family. And whether the decision is right or wrong, we all have to live with it and change with it and make things right. So, and a few weeks ago, but I didn't make a video about it because it's going around, just giving it time to calm down, right? That a single mother was doing her thing, right? And it looks like the son was a teenage son because he's only 21. He's just reached adulthood. But the child is not doing anything because I guess he's missing his father. And the mother don't know how to give him the discipline he needs as a father, right? As a strong person in the household that's gonna discipline this teenage boy. So while the mother was working and doing her work and trying to achieve things, right? And most likely maybe she didn't have time for the son because she's probably the achiever and she's the working parent, and the son just turned 21 and she wasn't giving this child, I almost said a person, but it's generalizing, right? Giving the attention. So the boy was doing all kinds of stuff, right? He'd bring his girlfriend to the house and things like that. And the mother had told him not to be, having intimacy, sexual activity, whatever you want to call it, smashing the girl, whatever, right? So the mother had warned him, and he just continued to bring his girlfriend and, have intimacy in the household. Being that the mother's in charge of the household, she told him not to, bring anybody in the household. So I guess he was upset, and one day the mother had told him something, and he had his girl, and when his mother walked out of the house, he opened the window and shot his mother point blank. You believe that a son would kill his mother because she gave him an order? Now, thing is that we don't know why the son did that. We don't know if he had, problems already. He was going through things. And, a lot of children don't address their problems to their parents, right? Because their parents are too busy, or they probably just don't understand. And the parents think that since they're older, they know everything. But nobody knows everything. That's why you got to listen to everybody and try to figure out the best solution so that everybody could be comfortable. Just because you don't like your son's decision, doesn't make him wrong, or he's probably missing something. And that's how a guy or a girl would express herself, through her boyfriend or something, talk to them, things like that. So that's why you got to be open with your family. And sometimes the parents trying to make their children achieve what they didn't achieve in life. And that's wrong, people. You cannot make your children achieve what you didn't achieve. They got their own lives. They got to figure it out. You cannot force them to do something that you want because you didn't achieve it, and you want your achievement to come through with your kids. And that's wrong. Your kids got their own mind, you know, and their own goals. They want to find themselves. So you got to give these kids a chance to find themselves. You cannot put pressure on them because their lives are different from yours. You suffer differently and they suffer differently. You know, just because you gave birth to them, you know, you cannot control their life, you know, where they're heading to. That's a decision that they have to choose on their own, and you just have to be there and give them the advice, and hopefully they take it and they able to take criticism. And you have to explain to your kids what is criticism and how to consider criticism, because a lot of kids these days, they can't handle criticism. It's a letdown to them, and they feel that you don't trust them, and you think that their expectation is not good enough for the parents, so the parents puts it down, and you know, you bring the kids' morale down. It's no good. You have to let your kids express themselves and find themselves. You have to let them make the decision on their own sometimes. You there as a parent to guide them, but to pressure them to do something that you couldn't achieve is wrong. You have to let these kids achieve things. And you know, it's bad that kids these days don't respect anybody no more, right? Because the family structure is not there. There's too many single women out there doing their thing, and their kids are just running around doing whatever they want. And there's no guidance. You don't know how to guide these kids, because when you broke up with your boyfriend, your husband, whoever he is to you, you should have told him, look, is there anything goes wrong, I want you to come and visit your child or your daughter. Come take her out. You know, spend time with her. Just don't abandon the father and kid. Like, tell them, well, if we break up, you can't come here. No, you cannot visit your kid. That's wrong. That's why a lot of kids have psychological problems, because everybody needs the two parents, right? Everybody thinks about the missing parent. If you was raised only by your father and you have a son, the son will always want to find out who was his mother and what happened to this mother that she's not around. Just the same way as a daughter, you know, where's my father that he's not around, why he left us? And if the woman's gonna fabricate stories that your father was no good, that's bad to talk about another parent to your kids, that the other parent is bad. You know, what should be you be saying? You want to know your father or your mother, you should go look into it and reach out, and you see you can have a relationship with them, right? And don't always try to put down either parent that you're giving them bad advice and all that. No, you talk that amongst yourself, but don't put the interference of the conflict between you and your kids, because you know, kids suffer a lot when parents always have a discussion and all that, just because the child's trying to satisfy both parents. And I don't mind, but it's wrong with parents trying to force their kids to do something they don't like. They're never gonna do it, no matter how much you do it. If you tell them something to do because you as a parent want to, it's never gonna work. They're not gonna do it. They want to feel free that the choices they made it on their own. And it's good that these kids fail and learn from it and achieve better things. That's the only way they're going to learn, because a parent cannot always be there and guide them all the time. You need to let them know that it's all right to make mistakes and learn from it. But these days, you know, too many single mothers are out there alone trying to raise a family that they can't, you know, be the income earner and guidance to their kids. You know, because the kids are not going to see their parent always there, or the parent is always going to be tired. The parent got other things in her mind, and she don't got time to listen to her children's, you know, their goals and what they think. So it's hard. So my advice to everybody, or anybody that's single, always, man, try to figure it out how you could get your other parent to have a connection with their child or their children's. You know, just because you broke up, you shouldn't put this between the kids. Always encourage the kids to reach out to the father or the mother, or the mother or the fathers to reach out to their kids, their sons or daughters, and let them communicate. If you don't want to be around, that you can always take the time. Listen, I'm gonna give you time for you and your son, and or your daughter, to have time, have conversations and things. That don't be there if you're gonna interfere and start arguing because you disagree the advice that the other parent is giving. Everything's got to be neutral, especially when kids are involved, because kids get really depressed when the parents are bombarding them what opinion they should take or what advice they should take. No, that's the decision of the sole child to make. He needs to learn, right? Whether it's right or wrong, he needs to learn so he could continue correcting his life and moving forward in society. So parents, one single parent is not enough for a child. That's most of these childs are rebellion, and they go out there and disrespect everybody, and they're trying to look for guidance. Believe me, kids trying to look for guidance, but it's hard for them because they don't trust nobody, because nobody ever is there for them. They don't want to understand because children, teenagers think in a different mindset than an older person. Once an older person is established, they think that they don't want to listen to any other thing other than you achieving things or achieving goals that the parents want you to achieve. Even though that's not their goals, but the parents force them to achieve goals that they don't want to. That's why you need your kids to learn how to make mistakes when it comes to school or career decisions. You have to let them figure it out where they fit in life, and sooner or later they will find a path and do the right thing, right? And be successful. The parents, the kids cannot live a parent's life, just like the parent cannot live your child's life. Everybody has its individual, life to follow. And with that, people, I let you go and you think about that. Always consult both parents, and just because you don't agree, you shouldn't be lashing out in front of your children. And with that, people, I'll let you go and you think about that.